Family can be complicated, and relationships between siblings, even more so. Growing up, my sister Jenna and I had a bond that most people envied. We weren't just siblings, we were best friends. We shared secrets, dreams, and even fears. We looked out for each other, confided in each other, and believed that no matter what happened, family would always come first. But somewhere along the line, things changed, and our relationship became strained. The closeness we once shared gradually eroded, replaced by an underlying tension that I could never quite put my finger on. And then, one day, that tension exploded into something I never saw coming. Jenna demanding my money. It started with small requests, little hints of trouble that Jenna always downplayed. I didn't think much of it at first. Everyone goes through hard times now and then, and as her older sibling, I felt a certain responsibility to help her when she needed it. The first time she asked to borrow some money, it was for something small. $50, I think. She was short on her rent that month and didn't want to ask our parents for help. I gave her the money without hesitation. No questions asked. After all, she was my sister. What was $50 between family? Jenna was grateful, of course, promising to pay me back as soon as she could. I wasn't worried about it. I figured she'd get back on her feet and we'd both move on. And for a while, everything seemed fine. She repaid the money after a few weeks, and I thought that was the end of it. But then the requests kept coming. It was small amounts at first, $20 here, $30 there. There was always an excuse. Her car had broken down, she needed groceries, or she had an unexpected bill to pay. I understood. Life is expensive, and things don't always go according to plan. I told myself it wasn't a big deal, that I was just helping her get through a rough patch. Besides, Jenna had always been there for me when I needed her, so why shouldn't I be there for her now? The turning point came when she asked for a larger sum of money. This time, she needed $500 to cover her credit card bill. She had gotten behind on her payments, she explained, and if she didn't pay it off soon, the interest would skyrocket, and she'd be in even deeper trouble. I hesitated for the first time. $500 was a lot of money, especially considering that I was trying to save up for a down payment on a house. But Jenna's plea sounded so desperate, and she promised she'd pay me back as soon as she could. Reluctantly, I agreed. I wired her the money, feeling uneasy about it, but convincing myself that I was doing the right thing. After all, family helps family, right? But as the weeks passed, my unease grew. Jenna didn't mention the loan, and I didn't want to press her about it. I knew she was struggling, and I didn't want to add to her stress. But when months went by with no word of repayment, I finally worked up the nerve to bring it up. "Hey, Jenna," I said one afternoon while we were having coffee. "I was wondering when you might be able to pay me back that $500. No rush, but I just wanted to check in." Jenna's expression changed instantly. Her warm smile faded, and her brow furrowed. She put down her coffee cup and crossed her arms defensively. "Are you seriously going to bring that up now?" she snapped. "I told you I'm still trying to get my finances in order. You know how hard things have been for me." I was taken aback by her reaction. "I know, Do you have any idea what it's like for me right now?" she interrupted. "I'm barely keeping my head above water, and you're over here asking about money? You can afford to help me out for a little while longer, can't you? I mean, it's not like you're struggling." Her words hit me like a slap in the face. It wasn't just what she said, but the way she said it, as if I was being selfish for wanting my money back. I had been helping her for months, and now she was making me feel guilty for asking for what was mine. "I'm not trying to pressure you," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "I just wanted to know if you had a plan to pay it back. I've got some things I'm saving for too." Jenna rolled her eyes, clearly annoyed. "You're always saving for something. It's not like you're going to be homeless if I don't pay you back right away." I was stunned. How had we gotten to this point? This was my sister, the person I'd always been closest to, and now she was treating me like I was in the wrong for asking about money I had lent her in good faith. The conversation ended abruptly, with Jenna storming out of the cafe, leaving me sitting there, bewildered and hurt. I didn't know what to think. On one hand, I knew she was going through a tough time, but on the other hand, her attitude toward the money was starting to feel less like desperation and more like entitlement. A few weeks passed without much contact between us. I didn't want to escalate things, but the situation weighed heavily on my mind. Then one night, Jenna called me out of the blue. I answered, expecting it to be a casual conversation, but the tone of her voice immediately put me on edge. Look, I need to talk to you about something important, she began, her voice tense. Okay, what's going on? I asked, bracing myself. I need more money, she said bluntly. The words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. My heart sank. Jenna, I can't. I'm serious, she interrupted, her tone sharp. This isn't just some little favor. I'm in real trouble, and I need your help. I need $2,000. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. $2,000? That was a huge amount of money, especially considering she still hadn't paid me back the $500 I'd already lent her. Jenna, I don't have that kind of money lying around, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. And even if I did, I can't just keep giving you money without getting any of it back. You haven't even paid me back for the last loan. There was a long pause on the other end of the line, and when Jenna finally spoke, her voice was colder than I'd ever heard it. So what? You're just going to leave me to drown? After everything I've done for you, you can't help me when I really need it? Her words sent a chill down my spine. This wasn't the Jenna I knew, the sister who had always been my best friend. This was someone else, someone who saw me as nothing more than a bank account, and my heart broke a little as I realized it. I'm not leaving you to drown, Jenna, I said, my voice thick with emotion, but I can't keep giving you money like this. You need to figure out a way to handle your finances. I can't be your safety net forever. There was another long silence, and I could almost feel the anger radiating from the other end of the line. You've changed, she said finally, her voice icy. You think you're so much better than me just because you've got your life together? Well, guess what? You're not. You're just selfish. And I hope you remember that the next time you need something from me. And with that, she hung up. I stared at the phone in disbelief. My heart was racing and my mind was spinning. I couldn't believe how things had spiraled out of control so quickly. Jenna had always been strong, independent, and resourceful. But now it felt like she was using me, manipulating me into giving her what she wanted without any regard for the consequences. For the next few days, I replayed the conversation in my head over and over again, trying to figure out where things had gone wrong. I wanted to help Jenna. I really did, but her behavior had crossed a line, and I couldn't ignore it any longer. I needed to set boundaries for both of our sakes. A week later, Jenna showed up at my apartment unannounced. I could tell from the look on her face that this wasn't going to be a friendly visit. She marched into my living room, her arms crossed, her expression hard. We need to talk, she said, her voice tense. Okay, I replied, trying to remain calm. What's going on? I've been thinking about what you said, and I don't think it's fair, she began. You have plenty of money and I'm your sister. You should be helping me out when I'm struggling. That's what family is supposed to do. I felt my chest tighten with frustration. Jenna, I've already helped you. I've given you money multiple times and I've never asked for anything in return until now. But I can't keep doing it. I have my own financial goals too. Jenna's eyes narrowed and she shook her head in disbelief. I can't believe this. After everything we've been through, you're just going to turn your back on me? You're acting like I'm some stranger asking for a handout.